working moms versus stay-at-home moms. You know, moms are some of the hardest workers in the world. You know, whether they stay at home or work outside the home, a mom's work is never done, it seems like. You know, moms who work outside the home and moms who stay at home aren't so different, at least not when it comes to guilt and worry. Roughly 1/3 of all moms working in or outside the home say they often feel guilty about their contribution to the household. And nearly half of all moms admit that they're their own toughest critics. Well, there's an estimated 5.6 million stay-at-home moms. Wow. And that's a 22% increase from recent years. And 71% of moms in the U.S. are considered working moms.
So I'm a gastroenterologist, and I practice and live in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. I'm a big sports fan.
He became the Rhodes Scholar representative as well as the homecoming king at Ohio State.
You know, what we're trying to do is replicate what you would have, for example, in my office. You know, we want to be real and answer questions that are tough sometimes. Take a topic and really understand it and develop a solution. At the end, we'll help the patient that's in front of us and also help the patients at home as well as the studio audience. That's the essence of what we want to do.
He's not on that side of the world. He's actually made the trip from Detroit, and he's here with us in the flesh in live and living color. Hi guys, Dr. Nandi's here, and he's actually going to be hosting with us all morning right here in Kingston, Jamaica, and it's pretty exciting to have him. Welcome to Jamaica.
Asking a lot of questions. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thanks, my pleasure. It's I appreciate you having me here.
So let's talk a little bit about you coming here and how that partnership is going to work, because I would escape Chicago at this time as well. I mean, Detroit as well at this time as well, with the weather. And you're in Jamaica not just for the sunshine, no?
No, but you know, my wife, she just texted me this morning. It's 1 degree Fahrenheit.
So
she said, "What's the temperature?" I said, "It's about 60 degrees more."
Oh,
wow.
Loving that.
But you know, obviously it's beautiful here. But it was about a year and a half ago I met O'Neill Walters, who is the CEO of Stretlaw Media. And what he said to me is that, you know, you have a great show and you talk about topics that are really important, but how can we take the same ideas that we had in the show? And the ideas are that, how do we give people a way to live a better life? How do you give them solutions? Whether it's a health crisis, like some of the vector-borne illnesses we'll talk about, or prevention, you know, of diseases, or we talked about, you know, having the debate between whether you live at home and take care of the children in the home or work outside. And so all those things, we try to help people live a better life. So how can we take those same principles that we had in the US and bring them here? So we said, let's make a partnership and then have a higher goal. We worked and talked with the National Health Fund and the Health Ministry to be able to increase awareness and also improve disease treatment for diseases such as critical illness as well as cancer. And then so we said, okay, how can we do this in a way that's, I think, beneficial both to the audience in the US and the world as well as Jamaica. So that's how. Take some things that are really important here and are beautiful as far as medical therapies and lifestyle therapies, and introduce it to the rest of the world. And so that's where we came up with Ask Dr. Nandi in the Tropics. It was really a collaboration between O'Neill Walters and myself, and we're planning to do it this year. So it's all come full circle.
And there's an interesting thing, I think, about the way that you do medicine, because you kind of take the traditional, I've learned this in college, Western medicine, and you infuse some other kinds of medicine, some traditional medicines that certainly here in the tropics, particularly in Jamaica, we know and we've relied on for a very long time. Are we going to see that fusion in
Absolutely. Absolutely. You really picked it up well. I mean, what we try to do is what both of you said. You know, make it understandable, because you know, in the U.S. and I'm sure here, medicine is very intimidating. Meaning that people go to a doctor and they've done research. People come in, they get anxious. Their anxiety level goes up. What are they going to say? Plus, in the U.S. and also here, you don't have much time with them. So one thing is that we want to make it understandable, so we speak in language that makes sense.
Because I read WebMD and I come in and I've decided already that I'm about to die, because everything that's there, I've got that.
But I think a lot of time persons are afraid to ask, because the doctors will give you the medical jargons just over and over, and then you get your prescription and you have to go Google, you have to go YouTube to kind of get an idea of what is really happening, so your main objective is to ensure that the average person can ask Dr. Nandi and then understand exactly what is happening.
But you know, the thing is that here's the point, is that I am there for the patient, not the other way around. So if you were, for example, talking to your viewer and your viewer didn't understand what was going on, it would make you ineffective.
Right.
So the way I think about it is that if we talk in a language where you have to now go on Google and YouTube, we haven't done our job.
Right.
So we are supposed to help the patient and the public. So I want to make it understandable, but also useful. But I also want to give people the ability to do exactly what you said, is that ask the doctor, ask the medical personnel, so we give tools to that. But to what you were saying is that we do something called, we blend Eastern medicine with Western medicine. I was born in India, as you may know, and I came when I was very young to the US, I was about 9. But I still remembered some of the principles there. So what we try to do is, around the world, alternative medicine.
Right.
Let's say, you know, in this country, you know, drinking BC tea or drinking papaya juice. You know,
You've been researching.
Well, I mean, all of us starting to know that. I mean, coconut water. You go to a place, you know, where I'm from. You know, Whole Foods sells it in a can. 15 times the price that you would get
It's from a jelly man around the corner.
And so, what is it about that? You know, that's been there for thousands of years. How can we distill that information and then say, how can you use it in your lives? Because they're doing it now. So that's what we call East meets West. The last thing is that we want to make sure that people have advocacy. In the US and around the world, you know, people don't know a lot about their health care. They don't know about their insurance, how to get it. So, you know, we'll talk about this later, but, you know, how do you make healthcare accessible? And then be an advocate. Don't be afraid to just get the system and let it bog you down. But we have a lot of fun.
We're talking to him, but you're going to talk to him this morning as well, as Dr. Nandi is happening right here on CVM at Sunrise. We're going to take some calls from you guys. If you've got your health questions, write them down, make a phone call to us. You know, we're going to share the numbers with you a little bit later on in the show, and he will answer your questions.
Or even a good joke.
Right.
My staff, you know, we need some good jokes. You know, when I
Health
we
jokes?
practice health jokes, any jokes, because they say we've heard all your jokes again. Dr. Nandi, we need, when you go to Jamaica, come up with some Jamaican jokes. You can come back.
So you have any now?
I don't have any good jokes right now, Mom.
Do you have any jokes at all?
I'm going to put you on the spot because a little birdie whispered in my ear that Dr. Nandi likes rap music, and I was like, what?
I do like
What did he
rap
just
Who's your
say?
favorite rapper?
Well, you know, Eminem and Jay-Z. Eminem his home is in the Big D, Detroit.
It is.
We love Eminem and Jay-Z, but I love rap because it talks about real stuff. You know, I mean, some of the lyrics are fictional, but it talks about things that are real for people, but in a way that's understandable and relatable to young people. That's what I love about it.
I'm so about to
maybe
put
you
you on
should
the
do a
spot.
song for your
I'm
health.
so about to put you on the spot right now. No, like
You're
your
gonna
favorite
ask him
Jay-Z.
to rap?
Your favorite Jay-Z. Go.
Oh, the original, It's a Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
Had to be. Whole
Go
school.
ahead.
Go.
We want to hear it. It's a hard knock.
Life.
For us, it's a hard knock life. For us,
That's good.
So do you normally have like New Year's resolution, health-related New Year's resolutions?
I do, you know, but what I tell people is that instead of waiting until New Year's Day to do it, you know, make something that is easy to do. What people often do is they make these unrealistic resolutions.
Do that before Christmas with the whole slew of food in front of you.
But that's the thing, though. You have to make it realistic. So people go crazy. They go, you know what? I will not have any sugar ever again. And you know it's crazy, right? You got to make things
start
realistic.
craving.
Right. You got to make things easy and realistic. So what does that mean? Say that if I, for example, in you know, around the world, drinking Coca-Cola or drinking pop is huge. So I say, instead of cutting it down completely, maybe I'll cut down 1 can a week. And it's amazing, decreasing the amount of sugar, what it does to your body. So instead of saying that here are New Year's resolutions and we'll stick to it, I instead implore people to say, make things that you know in your life that you can do. So instead of saying, I'm going to go on the treadmill or do something, you know, more than you can do 30, 40 minutes a day, just say, I'll take the stairs.
I'll take the stairs.
You know what? I'll walk instead of taking my car. In the U.S., I always have a joke that, you know, these people in the gym, they come to the gym and they're hovering. They're dressed up, but they're hovering like vultures. Why? Because they want to get the parking spot. That is millimeters away from the entrance, right?
Yeah.
And so you know those people.
Defeats the purpose.
They hover, but then they go in and they do what? Exercise. Instead, park a little distance so you can walk to the place,
Makes sense.
warm up. And those are the things we don't do. very simple things. And I'll tell you later in the show that those are the things that have been shown to really make a difference in people's lives. Sitting there and lifting 400 pounds and running 15 miles, that's all great. But if you make realistic changes in your life every day, that's what's going to be.
And start simple sometimes. But do you think families need to make health practices and healthcare a priority? Because when we do make resolutions, we talk about making more money for the new year, obtaining a house, obtaining a car. But what about the health aspect of it? Do you think we focus more on that?
We should. But we don't. You're absolutely right. We have working families that maybe around the world that maybe are doing well, but they will take less account of the health of themselves, or the health, not just the physical health, but the mental health of the children, in order to be able to get a bigger house or another car.
And I look at something as simple as nutrition. In the opening bit for the episode that we saw there on the screen, you're talking about the working mother and that dilemma that, she feels that she's not doing enough for the family, or perhaps the stay-at-home mom, and she's
guilty sometimes,
burdened with all of these things. And I think a lot about nutrition and what nutrition means to families, not just here in Jamaica but around the world, and how that's changing, and whether or not we are getting a nutritious meal when it puts it on the plate with all the sugars and the syrups and the have a soda and all of these things. Are we able to still put a nutritious meal on the table in a very short time?
You can. The key is portion size, right? What happens is that we're used to more and more and more, the bigger the better, right? You don't just want a little bit of. Yesterday I went to, I can't remember, but I got jerk chicken at one of these roadside stands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest piece of chicken I've seen. I mean, I went to, I was in Australia and Canada. The chickens are so much smaller. That's a big piece of chicken. You get two of those, and all of a sudden you feel compelled to finish them.
Did you finish it?
Of course I did. Are you kidding me? The stuff was good. It was in these big tins, right? And I'm not sure what the heck was in the tins, but it was damn good.
Yeah.
We did damn good. It's 6:30 in the morning, so we just did. Sorry. It was really good. So anyway, my point being, I digress, but my point is that, you can pretty much eat what you want. Forget all the, I will only eat this, I will only eat that. You can pretty much eat whatever you want, as long as it is in the right portion. As long as you don't eat fatty foods every single day, if you eat it, once or twice a week, it's okay. And the portion size is important. So I tell people, there's no such thing as a miracle diet. If you go on the web and you Google diets, you'll have gazillions research, and none of them really work. Why? Because the word diet is a fallacy.
You and I are going to have to talk about that portion size, because my mother and I have a joke that when we feed our family, it's dinner for breakfast, dinner for lunch, and dinner for dinner. It's that kind of food.
And it should not.
And you feel, unless you give that, you don't feel fulfilled, And we have to change that.
You're here in Jamaica, your family's not right now. How do you manage that, the whole family life, and traveling around, and Detroit, and how do you work out all of that?
I feel just like I'm sure both of you do, I feel blessed that you can impact people's lives. So I feel, and I've told my family that, the thing is that it's a sacrifice, but we want to make it.
Oh, look at that, that's adorable.
Yeah, so and my son's now about 3 years old, almost 3, and my other son is 1, my daughter's 11. So, but the thing is that there's some sacrifice you have to make. But the other thing is that, what we don't do is that when we are with our children, often we're like this, Sure, yeah. Just give me 1 minute. What I try to do is that when I'm with my children, I'm with my children.
You're present.
When I'm at work, I'm at work. So that you give the quality time. It's called mindfulness. It's a very difficult thing to do, but that's how I balance it. But I feel truly that we're blessed to be able to do the things we can do, to be able to impact people's lives. If you make a difference in one person's life, you feel like your life is fulfilled. If you can do that for thousands or millions, my gosh, that's such a blessing.
We're going to touch so many of you this morning. We've started already, and we're going to take some calls from you. But before that, let's talk about some of those rounds, those stories making the rounds, the news rounds here in Jamaica. An American has actually died on Jamaican soil under suspicious circumstances. We're going to discuss those in the newscast. And there is also more information on the deliverables of the soon-to-be merged Flying Squad and the Organized Crime Investigation Division. Those stories and more, 7 o'clock newscast.
All right, and our cartoon of the morning comes from the Jamaica.
And we're talking about health.
It's about health. Oh, well, quite timely. Is this free health care?
Is it free health care a cause? Because you're looking in the public.
Wow. People there. Yeah.
There's a conundrum that's going on in Jamaica, and I guess
yeah.
we can talk a little bit about it. The
And
cartoon.
we'll discuss that in Health Talks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll little bit later on in the show, but there's just a lot of pile up. We made the switch maybe about 2 years ago, could be about 3, to free healthcare.
Yeah.
And it's come with its blessings, but it's come with its challenges as well. And so I guess that's what the cartoon's highlighting this morning.
Yeah, it's on one side it's a tragedy, on the other side it's kind of a, it's a pun on the whole situation. But I think this is a crisis the whole world has. As you I'm sure aware of, we have this Obamacare, Affordable Health Care Act, which is trying to solve the same problem. And so what happens is that when people try to solve the problem of access, the difficulties come in, like who can pay for it, and can we actually do something without harming the entire system, and can we afford it?
Yeah.
So it's a big conundrum. But I think what it is the right thing to do. I think trying to have everybody get access to care is the right move, and then all the arguments afterwards.
It's the how.
Is how you do it.
It's the
It
how.
has to be streamlined properly. And the quote this morning is, the way to get started is not to quit, is to quit talking and begin doing.
Here.
Yeah, Walt
That's
Disney.
a great quote.
Here.
Kind of ties in with what we're talking about, health and approach to doing the free health care.
Stop talking about it. Be about it.
That's
Let's
right.
do it. Coming up in the show this morning, guys, it's tight. We're talking about everything health. So we have you covered from all angles with that. We've got some really interesting stories to share with you this morning. So stick around for all of that. We've got the NHF CEO, Everton Anderson, passing through. He's going to be sharing some important information about the work that they've been doing, and also their push to lower healthcare costs and also the cost of pharmaceuticals.
And I've got you covered in health. I'll be answering all your health-related questions this morning during the Health Task segment. And not only will I share some important information on vector-borne illnesses, especially CHIKV.
So shouldn't healthcare be readily accessible and cost-effective for the average man, especially the poorer class? Well, that's our latest view question of the morning. Remember, your views are important, so you can chime in by posting on our Facebook page, or guess what? You'll be allowed to call in this morning.
And we're bringing in the big guns this morning. The actual Minister of Health is coming through. He's going to be talking to us about his ministry's partnership with the gentleman right beside me, Dr. Nandi, for better health right here in Jamaica.
Up next, we'll be sharing some interesting stories from around the world. So grab your coffee, tea, or orange juice and stay with us on CVM at Sunrise. We'll be right back.